everyone. We're so glad that you've chosen to make Outset a part of your week. And this 3-minute devotion is all about us stepping out in faith to shape our week. And I want to share a key passage of scripture that comes from Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. A lot of times when we look at life, we see all the division that is played out in our life. Well, that's really not anything new. And Jesus teaches his disciples regarding this. And he shares something very specific in the Beatitudes, what we know as the Beatitudes, some of the first teachings in the Sermon on the Mount. And we know that Jesus is speaking to his disciples here. So that's very important for you and me as we seek to follow Jesus. If we're a true disciple, then we want to take in and absorb. We want to be that sponge to absorb exactly what his view is. Not the views of the day, not the popular views, not the views of pundits, etc. We want to take in the view of Jesus, the Christ-like view. And we see something very important for our personal lives, but also for our lives moving further out into our circles of influence. And it's something you may have heard before, but it's worth revisiting because when we live this out, then God can use us in very specific ways. And it's one verse I want to share with you from Matthew chapter 5, verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. You know, in a time of division, peacemakers are rare. Peacemakers don't get a lot of attention. Peacemakers don't get a lot of likes on Facebook and social media. But the disciples of Jesus are called to be peacemakers. And in being a peacemaker, that means we will be blessed. And Jesus says that we will be called sons of God. That by being a peacemaker, by taking that step to follow Christ, the Prince of Peace, to be a peacemaker, others will know who we belong to. And I think that asks us some very important questions. It makes us internalize some things, and maybe some self-reflection is required. We need to consider, am I being a peacemaker? Do I seek God's will so that I might be called a child of his? Am I finding solutions to division, or am I just simply digging my heels in further? You see, Jesus was teaching his disciples a very important principle as he taught the Beatitudes in the first part of the greatest sermon ever preached. And that was to be a peacemaker, because to be a peacemaker means to be Christ-like. I hope that encourages you today. I hope it's a challenge to you. And I pray that as you move forward through your week, you consider what it means to be a peacemaker. We hope to see you next time on a new edition of Outset.